Hello, good afternoon, evening, or whatever time you're watching this at. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is the first summertime strength workout. So we have our kettlebells. Today our focus is going to be on a little bit of mobility in the forefront of our practice, and then we're going to get to some pressing and some hip work. Let's get started without the bell, but have that bell ready and off to the side.
And let's get right to the floor for a quick cat-cow style warm-up to get in touch with those abs and, of course, those hands. Let's just set up our hip hinge or chip-chop on those hips. And from here, just maybe a little bit of a butt wiggle from side to side. Say hello to those hamstrings and those posterior chain muscles. And then just make it up a little bit from there. And grab the floor, fingers, calluses, hands, firmly rooted. With the hands firmly rooted into the floor, let's do that first knuckle push-up, which means the fingers or tips of those fingers and calluses stay heavy, and then slowly return back down. Keep the elbows straight, keep the armpits pulled down to the hips, also very useful places for those armpits and shoulder blades in our presses. And if you did that once or twice more, we can then push away the floor and extend the hips through. Let's just make one more quick wrist movement here, making fists, this time landing on those index and middle fingers as our gorilla fists go. Pack those shoulders low, open one set of fingers and gently flex over the wrist, meaning bend, and that's a nice stretch. Then press into the floor using those forearm extensors to stacked in neutral. Repeat on the other side and engage a nice stretch, but also find that strength to return with a straight elbow. Repeating one more time. Easy does it over on the wrist, push into the floor and come back. And personally, I went a little bit further. It feels a little bit easier that second time. It's not always about making it harder. Find ways to make it safe and strong as well. Then push the floor away, have a little bit of a shakeout. Let's go back and do the hips and the upper back as part of that cat-cow series. Grab the ground. How does that feel a second time on the hands? Lauren's side profile does show this move the best as we're in our cow position. And using the legs to drive the cow to cat tuck of the hips, pull the hips under. Then push the floor forward through the hands and suck those femur heads, those leg bones, into the hip sockets to get back to your cow shape. Repeat again, pulling under. The spine is not doing this movement, rather it's the legs and the hips and those abs, of course. And then push the floor forward, pull the femur heads back in to go towards a cow shape. Then squeeze those shoulder blades together. Modest chin tuck next, and flex, meaning round through the rib cage, but keep your shoulder blades pulling together. Then keep the head looking where you are, followed by our extension shape or cow in that upper back. Readjust the shoulder blades, pull them together, and casually flex or round that upper back. Are those elbows straight? Are the abs working to stabilize the low back while we move the rib cage? And then go back to that extension shape through the rib cage heart. Push the floor away. Let's get off those hands and into those lunge stances for a quick windmill. And maybe Lauren, since you're the windmill queen right here, show us what's up.
Don't do that. Don't whip your shoulders around.
Whip it around. Whip it real good. That's what we do.
Let's step 1 foot forward and first address our lunge position. So our bowl of punch, hips, slightly hike that up and then pull it down. Now from here, we're pulling that front femur in and extending that back hip forward. We'll keep this position in our low body as we articulate through the shoulder joint. So taking that same arm as the back leg, lightly shrug your shoulder up and then pull it down. With that shoulder nice and low, we'll straighten the arm towards the front and bring it towards our overhead. Our intention today is to press, so let's check in with that overhead position first. Make sure you're squared up and your cage is down as we approach that position, straightening your elbow. We'll reach towards the back wall. As we go, we're going to start spinning our humerus in. So we're trying to initiate that spin with the elbow pit, not the hand, as we rotate all the way around, so our pinky does end up facing forward. We'll retract our shoulder blade, keep our elbow nice and straight as we reach the arm to the back wall. Stay square as we unrotate or open the humerus in the socket, bringing the arm back to overhead, and then let's pull it down through concrete, engaging that lat back to that side position. Shake that out. Before we go from here, let's do an imaginary press. Pick up that bell to the rack position. Pinkies driving towards the ceiling, vertical forearm, nice straight wrist. Shoulder stays low, drive through that kettlebell, pressing the arm towards overhead. Hold that 500-pound bell there. Whoa. Cage down, elbow straight. Now start pulling that bell back down to the rack position. Stabilizers, lats, then chuck it. From here, let's relax and switch legs. Check in first with that lunge position. Hike a hip and then pull the hip down. Gently pull the front leg in as you extend that back hip forward. Square yourself up, keep the cage down. Next, arm is straight at your side, elevate, pull down. Keeping the arm nice and straight, we'll test the waters here as we get this arm towards overhead. This arm might feel different than the other, and that's okay. With a nice straight elbow, cage comes down again, we'll start reaching out the back. Humerus tries to internally rotate, warming up all those little muscles in the shoulder as the arm returns to the side, pinkies forward. Blade retracts, elbow is straight, reach to the back wall, keep the shoulder down, rotate open, bring the arm towards overhead, straight elbow, pull down through that concrete. Once it's there, bend the arm, returning it to the rack position, pinkies up. Shrug your shoulder, pull down. Keep the shoulder low as you press your imaginary bell towards overhead. Once it's there, start engaging the lat to pull that bell back down, maintaining the perpendicular forearm to the rack position. Chuck it. And then from here, we're going to stand ourselves up. So let's put both knees back under us, have our toes tucked. With or without our hands, we'll rock ourselves back, find the heels, and press through to tally tall. Whew. All right.
Before we get to the next phase of the practice, being those get-ups, let's just grab that bell, get a grip, and say hello to that kettlebell for our core strength exercises. Let's start with that suitcase hold down nice and low. I'll straddle the load, inviting you to do the same, and chip chop on those hinges or hips with the hinge, pack your shoulder, and lift up. Then adjust your stance accordingly. Slightly elevate that shoulder as to hold that bell up. And again, avoid gravity pulling you too far to one side. Activate the other with those strong obliques. Brace your core, clench your glutes, make sure you can breathe, and then open your stance, return, stand up, enjoy a wiggle, and repeat the same thing then on the other side. Hip hinge, single lift, preload, hips extend. These core holds like this are great exercises to review if you're looking to challenge yourself with a heavier kettlebell or integrate your kettlebell swing. Grip, endurance will help all of those pursuits. We're going through the list, and of course we'll talk about it later, but right now, just open our stance. Hinge to the floor, stand up, barehanded. Now that title slide has Lauren holding that kettlebell in the rack, so let's get it right there for our last grip hold warm-up of today. For that one, I will turn that handle parallel with my feet, preload in the sense of pretending to lift, and then zip up and hold into the rack. We're going to be pressing these kettlebells later today. How does this bell for you feel in that rack position? Fair, too light, too heavy? Find the one that's just right, and can you maintain your breath and your shield of abs? And return it to the floor. Come up barehanded. Maybe a sigh feels nice in there too. And start that increasing tension move. Pack your shoulders, zip up the body, rack position, second side. Pinkies, like Lauren cued in that warm-up, reach them to the ceiling and safely crush the kettlebell with your hand. Brace the core, clench the cheeks, relax these ones, and then two hands, return it to the floor, come up barehanded. If you are still with us by the end of this practice and we're pressing those bells overhead, but you're maybe not interested in that, hold it. Hold it for strength down low, march on the spot, hold it in the rack, spend time under the kettlebell or the goblet hold more nice to increase your strength, your awareness, and the familiarity with that kettlebell.
Let's get to the floor and get underneath that kettlebell by doing 2 half get-ups in a row on each side, and then we'll begin our pressing and hips practice. So come on down, cuddle however you want. Come on down to that cuddle position, roll and press to your back. We're doing our half get-up here today, just getting underneath that load by driving the hip, pulling to the elbow, finding the hand. We'll bridge and we'll sweep and pause for 3, 2, sweep back through, find the elbow, push away from the elbow, returning to your back, and repeat. Elbow, pull, hand, bridge, sweep, hold. 3, 2, sweep back through, find your elbow, push away to your back, return the bell to the floor, let it go, and spin yourself around to repeat on the other side.
Sounds good. 2 half get-ups on this alternate side now. It's the cuddle, the roll, and that 2-handed press. Drive through the hip to the elbow. Sit tall, pressing into the floor, then that bridge, and nice low sweep and hold. Then return back to the tall sit, find the elbow, and abs braced like a plank. Return to your back. Repeat again with our hip drive. Repeat again to the tall sit. A bridging, low sweeping for us here as we'll hold and breathe. And then tall sit. Find the elbow. Return to the back. 2 hands on. Cuddle it down. And I think we're going to get up from here. So spin yourself around. Maybe use those hands or not. Take your time. And here we are, listening to Lauren for kettlebell pressing techniques and me for some hips to come.
All right, so round 1 of our presses. Today, my goal is to do 5 presses, time 5 sets, so 25 presses here today on each side, or 50 total. I have a bell that I know I can achieve this with. It will be medium level of difficulty. So pick a bell that's appropriate for you. And are you trying to hit 5 too?
Yep.
Yeah, we all are. So come join us. First side, first arm, hip hinge, inhale, brace abs. Up, 1, up, 2, up, 3, up, 4, 1 more, up, 5. Good, bell goes down. Remembering if you're not feeling like pressing, you're holding for the duration that we press in that rack, that low, that goblet hold. Pick one, don't hold all 3. Ready? Second side. Up and 1, driving through pinky. Glutes and abs help you on the up. Pulling the bell down, returning it back to that rack position. 1 more. Up. Bell comes down. Parks on the floor.
And I hope that the first and maybe the last set are the hardest, because that was a little harder than I was thinking. But here's that foam roller, that balance aid for Lauren, and we'll switch that. So I'll grab the bar on the wall to start. Light efforts on those hips, thinking ins and outs, just as the shoulder was in Lauren's warm-up. Take a leg to the front and challenge yourself in a pointed foot like me, or another foot shape if you want, whichever one feels good for you. Then all the way back up in the hip. Let's do the turnout, knee to the side. Then do the turn in from the femur bone, but the knee shows itself moving to the middle. Repeat 1 more turn out, and then take that to the side. Same thing, keep the hips forward and do that internal rotation, feeling those lateral butt cheeks saying, we gotcha. And then keep your hips forward as you show that inseam. That's that external rotation. Doing 1 more internal rotation, then reach that straight leg towards the back, and then up and over the toes underneath the hip. Then just once in reverse, reach that straight leg, that same leg to the back, then turn out of the hip to the side, to the front, and then push your hips forward, returning the leg underneath. Shake and wiggle. We'll switch our balance aid apparatus here, and then we'll do the same thing then on the other side. So it's our straight leg to the front. In place, let's do a turn out. In place, do the turn in. Then repeat the turn out and take it to the side.
You okay there?
Yeah, little
Like catching your
out of breath.
Having some hiccup.
I know, a little bit of everything here. So we'll turn in on the hip next. When you turn out, keep those hips pressing forward. Finish with the turn in, and then navigate that leg towards the back, over the toes and underneath the hip. Then reach it to the back, turn out, catching my breath finally, and then all the way from the side to the front, and then hips through, leg under, return your balance aid to the side, and let's grab that kettlebell.
Let's go grab that kettlebell for round 2. When I'm doing a 5-round set of presses, I like to alternate my starting arm, so I will be non-dominant side on the even sets. Here we go. First side, 5 strong reps. If 5 is too many, pick a number that works for you, always finishing on a good rep. We don't want to remember that bad rep. That was 5 rep?
That was 5.
That was 5. Bell goes down. Up without. Shake it out. Second set. Up to the rack. Feet are planted. You have butt cheeks to help you. You have quads to help you. You have off-arm tension to help you. Breathe, using your breath to help you press, and pull it down. Park it.
Nice. Working that upper body strength and lower body mobility. That sounds like summertime fun to me. And somehow that still feels like cardio. Oh, geez.
For some of us.
Working on that too. Let's do the same sort of exercise here, but this time with our bent knee. So take that outside leg and pull it up to the ankle. Your call on the foot shape, either keep your point or that dorsiflex ankle shape. From this position, open the knee to the side, and one more time, return it to that midline, keeping the standing hip pressing forward. Then open the knee to the side, keep the knee bent, and do our internal rotation, checking in on those level hip cues from Lauren's warm-up, and light effort adduct the hip, meaning knee together. Then as we did in the warm-up, I talked with those cat-cows. So tuck under the hips like a post tuck, reach your bent knee to the back, and when you're out of room to the back, open up, knee to the side, ultimately knee to the front, and gently land, pressing the hips through, squeezing the glutes. Repeating then on the other side. Balancing. Use the balance aid, but definitely add that cramping tension on the standing leg. So pull up to that ankle, or maybe slightly higher at the knee, and we'll open to the side, hips forward, and then close to the front as well, avoiding a twist rotation. Then open to the side, watch the hiking of the hip as we turn in on the hip, and then light effort adduct or knees together. Tuck the hip to protect the back and use those glutes as we extend, reaching a bent knee to the back, and then we can open that knee to the side, and from there, return to the front, and again, stand tall, finish like that's easy, and enjoy a nice little wiggle before we tighten things up with that press again.
All right, we're back to presses. Set number 3, another set of 5 good ones, or your number. Root your feet over top of that bell, 2 hands to pick up, inhale to brace, and 1, 2, pinky side drives up, 3, lats pull down, 4, 5, nice. Park that bell, shake it out.
I was working out not too long ago, and my little niece said, "Ian, you make funny faces when you press that kettlebell." I said, "No, I don't." Then we took a video, and for sure I do. For sure I do.
And when it gets heavy, those faces come out.
Those
but
faces
as
come
we
out.
press our 5x5 sets, let's try to remain strong, passive,
face.
and not too resting. Ready? Second set. 1, 2, 3, 4, butts and abs, 5. Oh, nice. Set number 3 complete. 15, 30 presses down. Couple more to go.
Love that set
Really just
number
10.
3. That's
Oh,
that
wait.
hump set. Nice. We're back to the bar with these mobilizing hip exercises. Very casually, can we integrate some light squats here? With our feet in parallel, squats. It's gently asking those knees to go over the toes, and then from here, extend those hips through, cramping glutes, keeping the rib cage down onto the hips. Let's just repeat 1 more or 2 in place here. Knees over toes, root the feet, clench the glutes, and push through. Now take a single leg to the front, do a turnout rotation, bring it back underneath the hip turned out. Then same thing other side, to the front, turnout rotation, back underneath, that V or first position stance. Now light effort, pull the knees together, encouraging those knees to bend in a squat, and then press through, fully cramping glutes. Repeating again, feel the pull down effort, cramp the glutes, root the feet, and push through to tall. For 2 more repetitions, let's open up, a little bit wider this time. There we go, and same effort. Feel the pull down as Lauren is squatting there between our 2 panes of glass, push your hips through. And yes, in squats, those knees are allowed to go over those toes and push your hips through, cramping the glutes, pulling up the kneecaps with quads, and then return the legs underneath, shake and wiggle. That's set 3 already.
Good, just checking out my ankles.
Check out those ankles.
All
Celebrate
right.
the taper.
We are on set number 4 presses, and for set number 4, that means that non-dominant arm starts. So let's get set up. Use your hinge, pick it up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Bell goes down. How is your face? How is your off arm tension? How is your butts? How is your abs? Most important, how is your breath? Same thing, second side. Prepare for liftoff with an inhale, and 1, inhale, 2, inhale, 3, inhale, 4, 5. Whew. Nice.
Nice is right.
Nice is right.
We have one more set of presses and just maybe one more exercise on the bar here. And any requests or favorites that we should explore, Lauren?
Nope.
Nope?
No.
Okay. Well, let's work on some core holds just for fun then. On a single leg, pull up.
Core holds?
Leg holds.
Leg holds.
Leg holds. So pull up that outside leg to the ankle. It's currently bent. And as you straighten it, either foot shape, either dorsiflex or plantar, keep the leg straight and show us that inseam up as you're turning out from the hip. Bend the leg, return it to the ankle. Stay at that height or climb to the knee and repeat the same thing. Straighten the leg, push the standing hip forward, pull that femur head into the hip for stability, and then gently bend it. And as you finish nice and tall, finish tall. Let's just do the same thing then on the other side. So the standing leg, that stability leg, becomes that gesturing, moving leg now. Pull up towards the ankle, and as you extend the knee, pull into the hip with the straight leg, and your standing hip is reaching forward. Casually bend the knee. Stay that height, or find the knee, and do the same thing. A nice straight leg out front. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Hope my feet are clean, so let's point those toes just in case they weren't. And then return it to the leg and finish tall. But there's other directions we could hold that leg, aren't there? We should maybe, if you're interested, try it out towards the side. So pull up to the ankle and then open towards that diagonal or side. At the ankle height, straighten the leg and hold for breaths, times a couple, and then return to the ankle. Climb if that's available for you. Let's keep those hips level as we extend the leg and hold. Cramp that standing leg and breathe and casually bend it and then find the middle and finish nice and tall. And this is the last exercise on this other side, times 2. We are in that parallel position. You could do it from that turned out, but as we pull up to the ankle, open to the side, and then a nice low straightened knee. Are we showing that inseam forward? Are you pressing the hips forward? And are you breathing? Bend the knee. Find that standing leg knee for the final one and point. And just write a comment there, whose leg's higher. Right, just a nice little comment there.
It depends on your height.
Whose leg is higher there? And then close in the middle.
You have the advantage.
Point tall.
When your hips are all the way down here, only 27 inches off the floor.
I know, fine. It's never a competition, never. But sometimes it is. And when you're the one who's winning it, you gotta let them know.
Way more fun.
Gotta let them know.
All right. We're going to press this kettlebell. I was trying to do a competition where I was going to win, but let's do this 5th set of presses here. Last time, this brings us to 50 total presses.
That feels like a lot. Holy.
1. Pinky side still. Off arm. 3. Eyes stay up. Bell goes up. Last one. 5. Nice. Woo-wee. Take a second, shake it out, and we'll repeat again. Hippity hop, up, last set. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. 50 presses, some nice hips. What are we gonna do? Finish them up.
Hips? Or your secret surprise to finish?
Oh. I don't know what my secret surprise was.
I thought you were going to do get-ups to finish.
Oh. Yeah, we could finish with 2 half get-ups in a row on each side.
Sounds good.
Let's do that.
Mobilizing those hips, time under the bell, all of our favorite things. Cue us up.
All right. First side, so 2 half get-ups just as we started today. That's a nice sandwich to the elbow, to the hand. It's our bridge sweep. Little pause for 3, 2, sweep back through. Find the elbow, press away. Repeat one more time. Elbow, hand, bridge sweep. 3, 2, sweep through. Elbow, back. Return the bell to the floor. Give it that little cuddle. And let's spin ourselves around and repeat on the other side.
Nice.
Cuddle.
Cuddle.
Roll.
Rolling.
Pressing.
Done.
To the elbow. Hand. Bridge. Sweep. 3, 2. Sweep. Elbow. Back. One more time. Elbow. Hand. Bridge. Sweep. 3, 2. Sweep. Elbow. Back. Bell comes down. Returns to the floor. Stand yourself up. Great work.
Nice.
Half an hour. Nice and concise. And stronger.
Excellent. This has been Strength and Swing Summertime Edition, episode number 1. And join us for episode 1 of our bar class, presses and plies, or maybe some push-ups and plies on that one this time around, on Thursdays in the morning, and always in the archive thereafter.
And on Saturdays, again, we're back to our body weight practice Saturday mornings live at 8 a.m. or again, anytime in the archive. We have lots of playlists you can catch up on. There's always a workout out there for you. But we'd be happy if you checked out our website and sign up for our newsletter, as well as our Patreon, and make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Until next time, take care.
Stay strong.
And let's train soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good job, baby.